back home again, that Yorkshire bus conductress who was sacked last week for calling Pakistani passengers has got her job back. Union representatives went to see the management, and the conductress made an apology. Once again, this opening program of Channel 2 is coming from the Alexandra Palace newsroom, owing to a massive electric failure at the television centre in West London. The Church of Scotland is recommended to stand firm against commercial sport on Sunday. A committee report is not against taking exercise on Sunday, but it recommends serious thought and reading as proper activities. Other jottings in the home notebook: chemists are to get more money from the National Health Service, averaging about £230 extra a year. The National Chamber of Trade claims that 1 in 4 housewives who started collecting trading stamps have given up. The bugle that sounded the charge of the Light Brigade was knocked down at auction for £1,600 today, and it's going back to the cavalry. And the Beatles have been burgled. George and Ringo lost about £200 over the weekend from their flat. Finally, a safety note. After free beer was distributed to workmen at the topping out of the new Nottingham University building, the contractors closed down the site for the rest of the day. A spokesman said the men were rather light-hearted and it was thought to be in their best interests. The building is 186 feet high. Excuse me, just like Channel 1. Hello? Unlike Channel 1, there's nobody there. Some tape handed to me now. Widespread electricity failures reported in London tonight. The power failure halted underground trains. Let's try again. Hello? Yes, I can. Mm-hmm. You're right, you are. Right. Goodbye. As you can imagine, there's a good deal of rushing about going on behind the scenes. The London power failure halted underground trains on the Central line between Northolt and West Ruislip. So if anyone's not home yet, perhaps that accounts for it. BBC Television Centre, Shepherd's Bush, blacked out 25 minutes before the scheduled start of BBC Two's first programme at 7:20. Well, something has started. That is all for the moment. Later on, we hope, and there's no reason why from Alexandra Palace we shouldn't be able to keep this appointment, we hope to show you a longer news programme, including a first look at the newly arrived Australian cricketers in action. For the time being, excuse me. Yes? Right. Yes. We are going to repeat this news summary in 1 minute. Well, good evening. And as I said a few minutes ago, only I understand nobody could hear me, welcome to BBC Two from where it all began, here in Studio A in Alexandra Palace. Now it's the newsroom of Channel 2. And tonight of all nights, there has been a loss of electric power at our main studios, the television centre in West London. It's due, we are told, to a failure in a 60,000 volt feeder at Iver in Bucks. It's resulted in such things as the halting of underground trains on the central lines, widespread failures in various parts of London, and of course the failure of Channel 2 to start from Television Centre. It therefore forced me to apologize and to give you one thing at least that is scheduled, if not quite at the right time, the news in brief. Well, among other things, it's been the naming day for the Queen's fourth baby, Prince Edward Anthony Richard Louis. No special significance, I suppose, but the initials E-A-R-L spell Earl. The Edward may recall the Duke of Windsor, Anthony, without an H, the Earl of Snowdon, Anthony Armstrong Jones, as was, Richard, maybe Prince Richard of Gloucester, and Louis, of course, Earl Mountbatten, christening privately at Windsor on Saturday, May the 2nd. The soccer bribe scandal kept going in yesterday's The People. Walsall have suspended Ron Howells. He's denied the allegations. St Mirren have taken goalkeeper Dick Beattie off the field for the time being. Halifax Town are not doing anything about Walter Bingley, and Bradford City are standing by Peter Wragg. Both these two have denied the allegations made against them. And I'll repeat again that this programme is coming rather unexpectedly from the Channel 2 newsroom at Alexandra Palace because of a massive electrical breakdown which has affected our main studios at the Television Centre in West London, and I gather a good many other things in London as well. A look abroad. In New York, President Johnson's about to make an important foreign policy speech. Mrs. Johnson was in an airliner that got struck by lightning today, but luckily no harm done. In Laos, Prince Suvarnabhuma seems to be back in power after a coup d'etat that scarcely happened and rapidly unhappened. As some American newscasters probably saying, situation normal, all loused up. In South Africa, the African nationalist leader Nelson Mandela has admitted in open court to planning sabotage against apartheid. He said it wasn't an easy decision to make, but violence by Dr. Verwoerd had made non-violent resistance unrealistic. Back home again, the Yorkshire bus conductress who was sacked last week for calling Pakistani passengers has got her job back. Union representatives went to see the management, and the conductress made an apology. The Church of Scotland is recommended to stand firm against commercial sport on Sunday. A committee report is not against taking exercise on Sunday, but it does recommend serious thought and reading as proper activities for that day. Once again, this unscheduled news programme, or the programme was scheduled but not at this time, is coming from the newsroom at the Alexandra Palace because of an electrical failure affecting our main studios. BBC One is also coming from the twin studio to this one up at Alexandra Palace. We're told that the supplies affecting the central line London Underground was restored after 10 minutes. Perhaps this is a good omen. Other jottings from the Home Notebook. Chemists are to get more money from the National Health Service, averaging an extra £230 a year. The National Chamber of Trade claims that 1 in 4 housewives who started collecting trading stamps have now given up. The bugle that sounded the charge of the Light Brigade was knocked down at auction today for £1,600, and it's going back to the cavalry. And the Beatles have been burgled. George and Ringo lost about £200 over the weekend. Finally, a safety note. After free beer was distributed to workmen at the topping out of the new Nottingham University building, the contractors closed down the site for the rest of the day. A spokesman said the men were rather light-hearted, and it was thought to be in their best interests. The building is 186 feet high. Well, that is all for the moment, I think. Anything else? That's all we have for the moment, but we will be keeping in touch. We apologise for this delay in the start of BBC Two. There's been a massive electricity supply failure affecting our main studios in West London. Scheduled programmes will begin as soon as we can possibly manage.